So I was watching this. I don't know if you know. Do you know who Gypsy Rose Blanchard is?
Vaguely.
Okay. So just to follow up, most people know who she is, but she's the one that just got released from prison because she was supposedly a victim of Munchausen by proxy from her mother. And she, in order to escape her mother, formed a relationship with a cognitively impaired individual who she convinced to kill her mother.
Sounds logical.
So she's admitted it. It's not alleged. She served, I don't know, like 10 years, maybe.
Oh, I don't know. I remember she was on Dr. Phil.
Yeah. And at the time, everyone was like, okay, she doesn't deserve to go to prison, but she did plan the murder of her mother. She was an adult when it happened, but there was a lot of back and forth of was she cognitively aware that she was an adult because her mother lied to her about her age. She had her birth certificate changed. They were a victim of one of the, I think it was Hurricane Katrina. And so a lot of the medical records got lost. So her mom utilized that as an opportunity to lie about her medical issues. She did legitimately have medical issues. That's what we have found out now. And so her story about Munchausen by proxy is kind of inaccurate or a stretch because she did have medical issues. It just seems like her mother elaborated on them.
Right.
And now it appears as though she knew she did not have medical issues. So her mother wasn't lying to her and saying she was sick. They were lying to the public.
They were kind of both in on it. And
Correct. Correct. Because she got things out of it. Like she got 3 Make-A-Wish wishes.
Oh, 1.
That is not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to get 3.
No.
She got 3
Right.
and she wasn't dying. So there's a lot of, issues. There's a lot of things that have come out. She got married in prison. And the man that she married, she immediately started, giving him crap and saying she wasn't happy and just a lot of emotional garbage, and then ended up leaving him for her fiance that she had when she was in prison. So now she's pregnant.
Oh, good. Let's just keep that crazy tree growing.
Right. So she is currently living with her father, her biological father, who was not there to help her when she was going through everything with her mom, supposedly. Lives with her father and her stepmother. And after hearing everything that has gone on and everything that really did go on, if I was her father and her stepmother, I'd be sleeping with one eye open. Like, how are you comfortable having this girl in your home?
All right.
I just, and I was one of the people too that just felt bad for her. And I thought, she really didn't deserve prison time because this is what her mother did to her. I genuinely don't believe any of that anymore.
No, I mean, I've gotten, you watch things and do that, and we all know the stories. I said like, Dr. Phil years ago, but even then, I'm like, yeah.
Well, and obviously, okay, so the alarming thing with this situation, she was taught and trained to be manipulative. Okay, so I get that. But what do you do with a kid like that? Like for her dad, Rod. According to him, he was always told she couldn't walk. Her mom kept the charade up with him too because they were not together.
Right.
And he lived states away. So supposedly she kept up the charade with him and he didn't know. I would be terrified to all of a sudden have this young woman, because we'll call her what she is. She's a young woman. She's not a little girl, even though that's the way she wants to present herself. I'd be terrified to have her in my home.
Well, I think most people would think the same thing, but it is what it is. Crazy people kind of attract crazy people.
Yeah. Well, and they live in Louisiana. So I don't know. I don't know. She has said over and over again that she wants to be a beauty influencer. Now all of a sudden she's saying she wants to be an advocate for people with Munchausen by proxy or victims of Munchausen by proxy. But then she has had nothing but arguments and quarrels and issues with other victims of the same situation. There was a girl on TikTok where her mother had her leg amputated for no reason, basically. And she genuinely is a victim of this. And so the fact that Gypsy is now fighting her on her lives and, confronting her, trying to sue her, trying to call her a liar. And then you listen to interviews with Gypsy Rose, and she mimics what she has heard other people say about their experiences. And it's so reminiscent to me when I listen to it of Amber Heard. And when she was mimicking other DV survivors' stories, almost word for word.
Well, no, Amber Heard went a step further and was mimicking Johnny Depp's portrayals of characters.
Well, that's true too.
Also, she went as far, anything was fair game to her. It was like, oh yeah, like the jar of cocaine.
Well, and that's what gets me. That's what got her caught. That's what made it obvious she was lying, because she was so lost in her own delusions that she didn't even realize that's what she was doing. Like, seriously bringing up things from his movies, you think that's going to be believable at the end of the day? You're an idiot.
Well, when you're crazy, you can believe whatever you want.
Well, that's true. But yeah, so I'm watching this train wreck unfold, and it is rather interesting because we're not always privy to these crazy people, and she just won't get off TikTok. So I know that her probation officer, her parole officer, demanded that she shut down one of her social media accounts because she was getting accused of violating her probation or her parole by, there's a crate here, by communicating to other felons while they were still incarcerated, people that she was incarcerated with. So I know that everyone's watching like her every move and they're reporting her for things like this, but this girl's got problems, like serious. I would be terrified to have her in my home.
Yeah, and it's one of those of, okay, crazy nut, crazy tree, going to have another crazy nut next to another crazy tree.
Or do the same thing to your child.
That's probably what's more likely going to happen.
And that's one of the things that she keeps saying, is that she wants to be an advocate for survivors and whatever.
No, it sounds like she just wants to keep playing the victim, because I've obviously not ignorant on this entire story. I just, how I am. I don't listen to that crap because I just don't care. And I don't want to give these people any of my time. But where's our boat? And then, I just think that's what it is maybe her mother was a little off and started the process and was like, oh, if we keep doing this and you play along, we can get X, Y, and Z and keep getting all these benefits.
Well, and I genuinely think that's what was going on, because the mother, prior to this whole scheme with Gypsy, she was, getting arrested for writing bad checks and things like that. So she was always doing manipulative things. She was always doing things not by the book, not good. In fact, Gypsy's dad, this was another interesting thing. So Gypsy, before Gypsy was born, Gypsy's dad was best friends with this woman or this girl. He was a teenager. He was 17 years old. He was in high school. And he was sort of dating his best friend, but not really. Well, then all of a sudden, he breaks up with or stops seeing his quote unquote best friend because he's got a new girlfriend. Well, it was Dee Dee Blanchard. or who is going to be Dee Dee Blanchard, I guess. And he's 17 years old. Dee Dee is 7 years older than him. So Dee Dee always had issues. I mean, she essayed the 17-year-old boy. That's what that is.
All right.
Because she was clearly an adult. She immediately got pregnant. So fast forward, the best friend is now Gypsy Rose's stepmom. So best friend has, she says that she loves Gypsy. She wants to be Gypsy's mom and take care of Gypsy, but she's very jealous of Gypsy. I don't even think she has good intentions when it comes to Gypsy, but Gypsy's a mess, like a full-on mess.
And then that's one of those hard to defend of, okay, well, this person's terrible.
Right.
And these other people are like, okay, well, I'm just going to sit there and get pissy or vindictive or whatever with these people that have already done that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel bad.
No.
It's my theory of eye for an eye, If somebody did something and then something happens to them and they're like, oh, God, this is terrible. Like, yeah, you did the same thing.
Right.
Like you just did that to other people. I don't feel bad for you at all.
Yeah. So it's an interesting situation. I really do feel bad for her soon to be ex-husband. The sad part is because she is now pregnant in the state of Louisiana. He is considered the father because they're married, even though it is not his baby, and she claims it is not his baby. I almost think he is halfway holding on to that. Like he wants it to be his baby because he is so devastated that she left him for her ex. He's still hoping she's going to come back. He still thinks she's in love with him. She's not. She's an opportunist. It's very obvious.
Well, yeah. And I mean, we've all known people like that. There's opportunists where, it's not malicious. It's just, there's an opportunity. Oh, you took it. Good for you. And
right.
It could be, it's not illegal, not malicious or anything like that. And that's perfectly fine. But then there's the other side of it, the people that are malicious and trying to do that and do things fraudulently or
right.
try to find ways of getting around it. And
well, yeah. So there's like, when the hurricanes were going on and people were talking about people looting and things like that, I don't feel like that is somebody being an opportunist necessarily.
Well.
No. Now, situations where you're robbing places just to rob places, that's different.
Well, I'll go back to the looting thing of this, and I can absolutely see two sides of that. Of if there was an emergency situation, like, that's we say a natural disaster or something else. Then if you're looting and you're getting supplies
like food and
water,
medication, whatever.
shelter, medical supplies and stuff incoming. I'm okay with that because what are you going to do? Like you can't rightfully pay for this stuff. You can't, there's nothing you do. And if you're waiting for disaster relief, it could take a while. Now, if you're going and looting and you're going out with 70-inch TVs and crap that you can't use because there's no power anyways, then yeah, you're doing the wrong.
Right. Well, and that's the difference. That's where I have a hard time with, because during that time frame, I remember them accusing, especially minority groups of people, of looting when they were just getting things that they needed. Now, when you see a man walking down the street with a pair of Nikes, brand new Nikes that he just took from a store because he could get in there and take them, that is an opportunist.
Yeah.
I didn't have an issue with people going and getting food and things that they needed for survival, because what else are you going to do in that scenario? And what else was going to happen to that stuff?
Exactly.
It was going to go to waste. It was going to become something that was not usable because it was going to be ruined. So yeah, that's what you do. You survive. So I do struggle with that terminology being utilized incorrectly. But was her and her mother an opportunist? Absolutely. Yeah, they were.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we're all opportunists in some way, shape, or form. Like who wouldn't? So close. Who wouldn't go and pick up $100 bill off the ground?
Right.
That's harmless. But yeah, when you're just why? I don't understand it. I don't think we're ever going to understand how we're put together.
Yeah. So I found it to be like, I've been kind of consumed with it because now she's pregnant and she's like trying to be all joyful. Look at me. Look at me. I'm going to be this perfect mom. And it's kind of terrifying because she's not. She hasn't gotten the help she needs. She hasn't gotten the therapy she needs. I think they said she refused therapy when she was in prison.
So actively not wanting to change and better yourself.
Right. Right.
Okay, that sounds about right.
Well, because in her head, or the persona that she exposes to everybody else, is that she doesn't need to be better. She wasn't the one that did this.
And she convinced herself of that. She made her own truth, which, I mean, let's be honest, we've dealt with that several times of people making their own truths up about a situation and letting it go with that and not wanting to hear any side or try to clear things up. It's like, no, this is what I believe. This is how it is. And that sounds very similar to that. Well, yeah, I don't care because I was the victim in this, and she's just going to keep playing victim every chance she gets.
Well, and that's a similar conversation that I've had with our own children is that, something happened to you and it sucks and it's awful and we can choose to live in it. We can choose to live there. It's not going to do us any good.
Right.
We can choose to live there and we can be miserable and we can spend the rest of our life being miserable. Or we can choose to get up and wipe ourselves off and go, okay, this happened. It sucked. I'm going to be better for it. And I'm going to make sure this doesn't happen to those around me.
Right.
And that's what I'm trying to teach our kids, because living in your victimness is just not it.
Well, that, and then you're doing that and no one's going to want to be around you.
Yeah.
Becomes like, every time something happens, it's like, oh yeah, hey, you ran a red light while you're on your phone and T-boned this car. But how is that? How are you the victim in this?
Because look what they did to my car.
Exactly. I mean, that's the problem.
Yeah. Well, and it's one of those, I'll talk to our kids all the time about not wasting things. And when we spend our money on things for them and they don't take care of it and how frustrating that is. And so our new teenager will come home after buying something for herself and it gets broken or damaged and she's just devastated. And she's like, I spent my own money. Well, yeah, we do too.
Yeah, right. That's how it is.
That's what we're trying to get our kids to understand and be clear with. And then we have people like Gypsy Rose Blanchard, who's so happy living in their victimness of things that they weren't really victims of.
Yeah, I mean, it might have started as being a victim, but then once you know what's going on, now you're a perpetrator. Well,
and I will say that as a child, even if her mother convinced her that it was okay, and as a kid, everything your parents say, you take as gospel, you take as the truth, you take as, well, if they said it's okay, that's fine. And so I can see it, but now we have progressed too far beyond it.
Yeah.
Like now you've had opportunity to be away from her, to be away from the toxicity, to be away from the negative, and you have the opportunity to be a better version of yourself. And she's choosing not to. So at that point, you no longer get to live in your victimness.
Agreed. Pause here. Kind of explain what we're doing, huh? Oh, I found him. Okay. Sorry. So we didn't do our normal, hey, this is a game we're playing thing. This is Benjamin Franklin. So real quick, game intro. We're playing Sea of Thieves. We've been playing this for a while. Boats, fun stuff. We're just doing a voyage right now, so we're trying to find stuff on this island and do all that fun thing, and found the guy.
I killed a captain. I've got a skull I'm bringing over.
Oh, nice. Yeah, these are... I think the next one we have to do is going to be like those compass ones, like we go to a map and it spinny compass, and we were looking for this guy and I found. Oh, sorry. Let's take that brief brief break real quick before I forget. Moving on back to the victim
mentality.
Yeah.
So yes, I think kids are just naturally wanting to be victims. Like from the time that they're born, they want to cry and be upset about whatever. And I think it's our job to teach them that, yeah, okay, crappy things happen to us as humans, and we can choose to live in that and be upset about it and be miserable for the rest of our life, or we can choose to move on and be better. And I just think that the victim mentality does nothing good for our kids as growing people and adults. And so I try to use those opportunities or like the public displays of ridiculousness that I see to show my kids, look how stupid this looks. Look how silly this is. People are laughing at her. People are making fun of her. Don't be this person. And not only that, but at the end of the day, we all pretty much want control of our own lives. And if we live in victimness, we don't get to be in control of our lives.
It's true.
We're letting other people, other situations, other scenarios control and affect us.
Well, there's that, but then there's also, I mean, the term Karen is basically those people of, I'm going to find a way to be a victim on everything and make everything everybody else's problem. They never own up to their crap. They go just looking for problems. I don't appreciate that.
Well, and I don't think it's very fair to the Karens of this world because there aren't Karens. There are Karens that are not Karens.
I know. I know it's one of those things where it's kind of just became a synonymous term with that name, but what are you going to do?
Poor Karens of this world.
Go buy something else.
I'm going to go by K from now on. So yeah, that's what we've been up to. We have been trying to figure out audio issues, which we have finally, knock on wood, figured out.
Yeah, we're still going through that whole thing. I got a new little recording box. So we spent about an hour trying to figure that out before we even started recording. That and OBS keeps updating, so we keep getting that whole issue of it updates and the filters are completely different. And oh well, we'll figure it out. The problem is trying to have perfection all the time. It drives you nuts.
Perfection.
What we're doing. I have a map.
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't either, because I think it's right. It's actually be like right here. Rubs.
Don't eat them. You'll get sick.
Oh, right. Dumbest thing.
Oh, there's something shiny down here.
West?
No, it's underwater. I'm going to go get it.
Yeah. I found out what those map bundles are, by the way. If you bury treasure, you get a map bundle. So if you go on somebody's boat, you can steal theirs if they have buried treasure. Sense?
Sure.
Like I buried treasure and I got a map for it. It'll show you where you buried your treasure in the quest thing. You'll have a map for your treasure. So like if, you have a boat sinks or whatever, those map bundles, that's what they are.
Okay.
So you can go find other people's buried treasure.
Yeah, so we're currently trying to try out different games. We used to play this game years ago, and then it got re-released, and it got released for multi-platform. So now we can play with other people that we didn't have the opportunity to play with before. So that's why we're doing this. This was a Marauder's chest. That's what I found.
No, might be like $50.
Oh, well, thank you.
I don't know. They're not.
Oh, there's another shiny. I'm going to go get that too.
If I keep digging, I'll dig up the whole island. I'll find something.
Well, good for you.
Grass. Tiny.
So, updates. We have... I don't even know. It's been like months.
been a while. I mean, we've just been doing what we're doing. Kind of the same. Everything kind of sold out for the.
It's hot.
It's
in Arizona,
that's been the biggest thing. Is it's
and then therefore we don't do anything because it's hot.
It's not even been hot though. It's been humid. Like,
which is not Arizona weather, so we're very confused by it.
Right?
We don't appreciate it. It is not valuable to us.
Oh, we want rain. I mean, it did rain last night. It didn't rain in a while. I have people chasing.
We just went to the Limp Bizkit concert because we are 90s kids who never got to go.
25 years later.
So we did that.
Yeah, it was good. There were,
it was a lot of fun.
Interesting. We got there. It was like started at 6:30. We weren't going to be there that early. I wish they would have done it later in the year because I would have liked to have seen Corey Feldman's weird show.
Yeah, it was.
I need to put that up here. I got the video of that. I need to put that. Corey Feldman dancing on stage with Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit.
I will also provide you with a Gypsy Rose Blanchard picture so you can put that up so we can just share exactly.
I don't know. If you Google that, they're going to get a lot of those.
Well, and so the problem is, and here's another tidbit of information for those of you that are interested. They just released, and I don't know why they just released this, but they just released the crime scene photos from the Gypsy Rose Blanchard, Dee Dee Blanchard case. I don't know if you are a normal human with a normal moral compass, if you could at all be okay with Gypsy Rose Blanchard after seeing those pictures. Because it wasn't just that she killed her mom. They tortured this poor woman, and she still claims that she wasn't involved, but supposedly she told one of her prison friends or roommates or whatever that even though she told the police, she stayed in the bathroom the entire time while her boyfriend was unaliving her mom. She told her roommate in prison that she did not stay in there and that she helped or that she was present.
Right. She knew.
And she's told people that her mom was yelling to her for help. And regardless, I don't even know how you do that.
Just let it go or just do it.
Either do it or let that happen to your mother.
Right.
Because now looking at it as a whole, we know that her mom wasn't lying to her, that her mom wasn't telling her she was sick and making it known that she really wasn't sick to her. She knew she wasn't sick, or as sick as her mom was letting on.
Right.
She had issues. She had medical issues, but she wasn't as sick as her mom let on. So it, I don't know. It's troubling that we have a Gypsy Rose Blanchard walking free in this world and just living her life like a normal person because she's not.
No, not at all. You got to think how many, for every one of those, there's probably like 10 that no one ever knows about.
Right.
You know?
Well, I watched there was this old, and this is spoiler alert for anyone that hasn't seen it, but it's been out quite a while now. So if you haven't seen it, it's on you. But so Fatal Attraction was a movie back in, I think in the 90s. And it was with Michael Douglas and Glenn Close, and he had an affair on his wife with Glenn Close. She was a coworker, and she ended up being crazy. So they ended up doing a series recently that they released, I don't know, probably a year, maybe 2 years ago. And Joshua Jackson was in it. He played Pacey. But anyways, it was the same thing, same storyline, but it was a series versus a movie. And at the very end of it, again, spoiler alert, at the very end of it, you know, all of this is resolved. He has proven his case that he did not kill this woman, whatever. And at the end of it, you see his daughter, who is becoming a psychiatrist. She's in school to become a psychiatrist. She's doing the exact same thing to a man that she has met. She's crazy and she is stalking him and she is doing the exact same things. So it was a very interesting spin on that story. I really liked how they did that because you're right. There are so many people hiding in plain sight that are just as crazy. In fact, a lot of mental health professionals are not mentally healthy themselves and that's why they do it, because they cannot fix themselves. So they try to fix other people. So tidbit for people seeing psychiatrists, and I have one, watch for that, because if you start to feel odd about advice that you're getting from your therapist or something like that, just know that they're human too. And sometimes they make bad choices. I had a therapist when I was 16, I think. I was in therapy because I'd been in a really bad car accident. My cousin had died. And this therapist spent more time telling me about her troubles with her daughter than she did giving me therapy. And so that was a really big eye-opener for me, that you really have to be observant, especially if you have children in therapy, of who they are talking to, because sometimes those people aren't good for your kids to be exposed to either. So you have to really be mindful of that.
Yeah, and then most people don't realize, like, when you start seeing a therapist, start like, hey, I need to do therapy, you need to shop around.
You do, yeah.
You got to go do 2-3 sessions with a therapist. Like, okay, this one's not working, you know. Or like I do, I have, you know, what I want out of a therapist, and I tell them that, I'm like, this is what I'm looking for. Provide that, or should I just go look somewhere else?
Right.
You know, and I've gone through, I got a handful of them before I get to one.
Well, and I get that too. And I think that there's also scenarios in which perhaps a therapist is really good for you for the season that you're in. A year ago, I had a therapist, and for the season that I was in, that therapist was perfect for me. And now I'm in a different part of my journey. And so now I have sought out a different therapist because I need a different set of skills from somebody. I need a different modality of how to handle it. And so now I'm seeing a different therapist, and hopefully this one will work out for what I need. And if not, then I'll find somebody else. But I don't think just because somebody is no longer the best fit doesn't mean they weren't always the best fit. It just means that now there are different necessities.
That's what you got to go through. That's the problem.
And that was one thing, the therapist that I had, I really like her. I really like her. And I think that for what I needed a year ago, she was great. I'm not in that same place at all. And so it's kind of one of those situations where my needs have changed. And so she's no longer a fit for me, but I know she's a great fit for a lot of people who are where I was a year ago.
This voyage bugged and
Okay.
avoided to cancel. I didn't get the next step on the thing from the quest book.
Okay. So I'm looking into something because I'm seeing a different therapist, and I'm trying to dig in differently and deeper into some of the issues that I have experienced, at least in the last year. This new therapist does something called, hold on, I want to say it right, EMDR. which I believe is eye movement desensitization reactive therapy, I believe. And what it is it's almost like a hypnosis, but you don't really go under. Okay, let me revise that. It's EMDR therapy. And what it stands for is eye movement desensitization reprocessing. And the reason it works and the reason it's important is because it's almost like a form of hypnosis, but you don't go under. But basically, you focus in on a trauma. And you kind of discuss traumas from early childhood that you kind of pushed aside. It was no big deal. You made yourself believe it was no big deal. But in the back of your head, it was a big deal because you didn't process it correctly. You're still dealing with it, whatever it is. And the thought process behind it is that you go into that trauma and you dig into it, guided by the therapist, and then you come out of the hypnosis type situation where they're guiding you through it, and then you talk about it, and you talk about how it made you feel, how it triggered you, what kind of feelings it brought up, and then you do it again, and you do it a few times, and as you do it, the thought is that it becomes less traumatic and less painful. The more you talk about it, the more you give it validity, the more somebody else in the room is giving it validity because you've pushed it away for so many years or however many months or however long this has been going on for you. And it has become something that you don't even know it's there, but it's painful. So I'm eager to start that just because I think that as a woman, but also as the kind of woman I am, the kind of career I've had, I've always pushed things down and not dealt with them.
Right.
I will always help other people deal with their stuff and I will give them all the advice and tell them all the things and they shouldn't be ashamed. But I'm not telling myself that and I'm not doing that. So I'm eager for that. I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping that it is something that could help.
Yeah, I mean, I heard of things like that where it's kind of a diversion, or just I mean, even then, just keep talking about it, and then
it takes away the angst that goes along with it.
Right.
It's kind of like this deep, dark secret that you had that you no longer have to keep. There's such a release once you are no longer doing that. So I think that's what the purpose is and the thought process behind it. And I haven't done a lot of that. I've done basic therapy. I've done medication. I've done different things that I thought would help that seemed logical. And this is almost not on the logical aspect of it because it's different. But I'm looking forward to it because I feel like it's something that could possibly help.
Right. And that, like I said, you mentioned that to me and I was like, oh, that's kind of like the thing that doctors have started doing, for people who don't like shots is they have the massagers now they use to overstimulate the area. So you don't even know it's happening.
Right.
And that's why I said it's kind of like the mental version of that, where it gets your brain going and have this traumatic event in the front of your mind, but while you're doing other stuff and other things are distracting you.
Right.
And so it trains your brain to think about it differently.
Yeah. And I've never done things like that in the past. That's not something that I've ever even thought about. The interesting thing is this is a new therapist for me, but she is very much educated and trained on these things. It's not something I'm super familiar with. And there's almost a peace about that, which sounds really stupid. But the fact that I don't have a lot of prior knowledge on it is very comforting to me because I can just lean into it with her.
Right. And that's the thing that just has to be done we want to be comfortable. We have the access to the internet. which gives us access to knowledge bases on everything. And, I've been against that not the entirety of it. Like, I feel like you can inform yourself before you go do stuff or have procedures done or, basic stuff, vehicle shopping, all that stuff. Everybody can be an educated consumer at this point.
But sometimes...
But there's too much.
Well, especially in the mental health aspect. Because if you don't know what you're looking for, if you don't know what's quote unquote normal, you just know you're normal, then you're going to be fearful of anything new.
Well, we just don't, humans don't like change. We like to be in our old comfort zones and all that fun stuff. But that's the cliche is, and it's the truth. When you're out of your comfort zone is when you change.
Yeah.
And I think we've done that quite a bit recently, and
we have.
And I think that's a thing. And
it's been a year of change. Some good, some bad, some I don't even know, but yet to be seen, right. I suppose.
So it's good, bad, and different. It's just, it is what it is. So,
but I think it's important to, you and I are very honest about where we are with our mental health and whether or not we're struggling. I think that's important to communicate with your loved ones about those things. And if you're in a dark place, there have been times recently where I've looked at you and I'm like, look, this has nothing to do with you, but I'm not, it's just, I'm not in it. I don't want you to talk to me. I
do the same thing.
I isolate, which I've never done in the past. I've never been someone that takes myself away from my groups of people. That's something that you naturally, do. Like that is part of your natural behavior is to isolate. Mine isn't.
Right.
And that's what I've been doing. And so I know that is not normal for me. And I don't know if that's my new normal. I'm not sure. But I do know that I don't like the way I feel currently when I'm in that space. So it doesn't make me feel like a good mom. It doesn't make me feel like a good wife. Like I struggle with it because I'm so used to doing everything and handling everything.
Yeah, that's what our arguments have been about recently of you don't have to do all this.
But in my head, I do.
I know. That's the
So then I get mad.
Of like, let's let go, let other people take over. And if we've said before, it's not always going to be the way you want it done or how it's going to be done or the way you would have done it, but to give people a chance to do it their way.
Yeah, it's not easy.
No, it's not.
It has not been an easy process. It's been a year. And, I told you recently the only time I felt good was when I was singing, listening to music, because that was something you and I did that was our normal. Like we'd go driving, we'd be singing, we'd go to karaoke. That was always our normal. And so like, I feel like that's why I feel so good when I'm doing that because it feels normal.
Right.
So we went to the concert and we had a good time at the concert because that obviously is something that I need for my mental health.
Oh yeah, it was great music to be, for mental health. In some ways it is. It's a lot of people see it that way.
It's kind of angry music, but like I said, it was what I needed at the time.
Yeah. And that's a stigma that, new metal rock has gotten that thing. It's like a lot of people that listen to it, the messages are the same. They may be angry and whatnot, but if you're feeling angry, it's kind of refreshing to know that there's other people out there that are feeling like you do, Well,
and let's get to the root cause of anger. Let's just talk about the root cause of anger. Typically, our root cause of anger is either fear or hurt. Mm-hmm. So, if we're feeling that way, if we're going through those things, obviously there are bigger things at play or different things at play, but anger is easier.
Yeah, anger's that emotion is just easy to go to, especially when you're in a less than desirable mental health state.
Yeah, because that's functional.
It's
Anger
just,
is functional.
It definitely is. Because if you're trying to just fake being happy, that's just exhausting, and you don't want to do all that. And so you just sit there and like, hey, I'll just get angry about all this because I can.
Well, and I also think it's a situation where the being angry deflects from the sadness, but then for me, at least for my personality and the way I am, I can't stay in that too long because anger is not my go-to want to be type of response. So to be in that space for too long actually causes more damage for me.
Right.
And that's why I'm where I'm at. And that's why I'm trying to get the help from a professional that I'm attempting to get, because I know I'm not in a good headspace. I'm not good for my kids. I'm not good for you.
We're all not good for me because I told you can't have two depressed people in a house. Doesn't work out well. And there's been pitfalls of that where, it's just, we can't both be unmotivated, all the time.
No.
And it just kind of, there's been trade-offs of, okay, well, we'll pick and choose kind of the things we're going to focus on and cut things out, And that's why it took us kind of so long to get back to this, because we've both been just, just no,
Yeah, we couldn't focus on the little piddly things while the bigger things are going on. And, what started the downfall of this year started at the end of July of 2023. And we've just been in it.
Well, that was the start of it. And then it was just like we were been on the ropes and on defense for the past 13 months at this point.
Well, in health, and, I've had some health things go on, and we've had some significant behavior things happening with one of our kids. And it's been one thing after another. So we've just been holding on for dear life.
Well, I would say we've been distracting as much as we can.
Yeah, that too.
But we would do the concerts and all that anyways, but we put more emphasis on it recently of, okay, if there's something we want to do or could distract us or do whatever, we're going to do that.
Yeah. Because if nothing else, this year made us realize how short life is. And, we just need to make everything count. We're trying to make the kids understand that as well.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It is, because kids are just naturally egotistical, and it's just how they're put together. And so you get your moments of grace with them. You get your moments of them understanding, and then it falls apart again. But, we do our best.
Yeah, yeah.
And by the next day, the kids will be looking at us cross-eyed and not understanding why we're so very mean.
Oh, yeah, there's that too.
Why are you so mean?
That's one of those, like, why are you just doing whatever it is you're doing at this point in time? But
yeah, I feel like we're in a better place right now than we were a couple months ago. So we'll just keep on that track. And
I told you, focus on the positives. It's almost every therapist has told me that about depression. Just sit back and at the end of the day go, okay, what good happened today? And then if it didn't happen, okay, well, guess what? We're trying again tomorrow. I'm going to just forget today, forget whatever, hit my reset button and go on tomorrow and just make it a better day, or, try to find more of the positives. And that's worked for me. It's just looking for positives in things, because it's so easy to look for negatives. It's so easy to get wrapped up in the negatives and just have them consume your life and just dwell on them, because all that's going to do is just bring in anxiety, which you don't need, And so I got preached for a few years now. If I don't have to worry about it, why do I need to worry about it?
And I'm the opposite. I'm the dweller. I'm the one that worries about everything. I'm trying not to. And this year has kind of forced my hand on not being able to control everything.
And it's been tough.
It's been tough. Very tough.
If you do not want to let go of control.
Nope.
And
I don't.
We've had fights and discussions over that. It's not, look, you're just going to have to trust that we're going to do what we need to do. But like I said, it's not always on. It's not going to be the way you want it done, or how you get. The time frames are different. The way people do things is different. If it's something if I'm doing something you usually do for the first time, it's going to be a mess. But that's how you learn.
I know.
And even then, it's been mostly just kind of just dumb reminders here and there. Nothing like super detrimental,
No, it's just that, it's to give insight. We have a child who is on the extreme side of ADHD. And my neurotic self sets about 20 alarms from 5:30 a.m. till about 7 a.m. just to keep this child on track. So when I'm not here and Hok has to keep this child on track, it's not the same. It doesn't happen the same way.
Well, no, because we got different routines, different ways of handling things, different expectations.
You're right.
And that's where it is. And then, said child should be doing a lot of things on their own.
Correct.
And they're just refusing. Like today was a prime example of that, of you have this much time to get stuff done. And then so far, as of recording,
we choose not to do them. Yeah.
80% of the day is gone. The working hours are gone, and we're still not doing what we need to do. And then wonder why there's consequences at the end of the day.
Right.
And so that's the fight that takes place consistently.
Every day.
Yep.
Every day.
That's
so
the battle.
And yes, I do understand that I am the queen of enablement. Did it with my little brother too. I'm aware. But I like things done the way I want them done. I like my day to go the way I like my day to go. And that's why I handle it that way.
Well, that's the same thing I say, though, and that's the conflict, is I do things a certain way and want things done a certain way. And you know me, I'm real if we have a plan and there's times in place, I want to hit those times. Not so much on the dumb things, but if there's things that we need to do, we need to know. We got to get them. I have a time in my head. I have to leave. I have to do this. I have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, when the closer, if it doesn't happen, then I just get mad. I'm like, okay, we got to get out of here. We got to get going. We got to do this. This has to be done. We're just stacking up stuff at this point.
Right.
And so, yeah, the last time, that was funny because our last family trip we took, we left early.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like,
the last couple we've taken, we've left early or right on time. We haven't been late, which is impressive considering we have the children that we have. And I'm not going to say the ages of our children that we have, because I think the youngest one is usually the most organized about everything. But it's just the children that we have.
Yep. And we'll see, because we're doing something Friday, which involves a lot of moving parts. So we'll see if we keep that streak going of staying on time.
Yeah, but the Friday isn't really that. We can't even consider that one because there are extenuating. I can't even.
Yeah, there's definitely
other circumstances.
Yeah, we're well aware that we're gonna just kind of do what happens, and it's all about prep work for the next few days.
We're going on a trip, but we're going on a trip after a doctor's appointment. So the doctor's appointment comes first, and we don't know how long that's going to take. So we can't even talk about Friday. Friday can't even be in the picture.
No, but I mean, like, once again, it comes down to just, okay, well, we don't know what's going to be happening Friday. So I've already resigned myself to the fact of we leave when we leave. Nothing I can do. Can't check in there until 2 o'clock anyways. We'll just leave when we leave. So now my mode shifts from, okay, I need to do the bare minimum Friday. So we're going camping. So it's hook the trailer up. The bare minimum will be hooking the trailer up, right? So the rest of the week is... So for Monday to Thursday is going to be, get it the stuff. Okay, I need to plug it in. I need to get this done. Get the fridge. I got all the stuff needs to be done by Thursday now, and so I don't have any time on Friday to do it. So it's I got to spread everything out. But at the same time, when you know this, what's going to happen, you're like, okay, I could plan for this, and we'll have fun. So it'll be okay. I just want to catch a fish this time. That's all I want to do.
Well, then you better do some research.
I don't care what kind of fish. I don't care if it's, a little minnow or like a 14-pound bass. I don't care.
I caught that little pike.
I know, right?
And I just cast it out. So then I had to get the little one over so he could reel it in. So he thought he caught it. Because that's very important.
I know. The last time we were there, we're not fisher people. I just looked up how to set up the rigs and stuff. That's how far along we've gotten. Basics, yes. So I'm like, okay, we want to look for this fish. We got to do this. So we got some research to do. We'll figure it out. Have some fishing fun. That was annoying last time because they were jumping right in front of us.
Yeah, these huge bass jumping right out of the water. They were teasing the fish or the birds is what they were doing.
Oh yeah, that like falcon or hawk that was floating
he
around.
wanted to eat that fish so bad.
Oh yeah. But like I said, that's the happy place,
That is our happy place.
Go up there and just turn off everything, relax. Although it is the test for Starlink for us though. That's the fun part for me is I get to test a new toy, and so
Starlink is internet for those of you who don't know.
Yeah, it's a satellite internet from SpaceX, and they came out with their Starlink Mini recently, which is more of a prepaid service. It's $50 a month, 50 gigs, and you can opt in for $1 a gig if you go over. Because our biggest problem is we don't have. Usually, there's not even cell service where we go sometimes, and these are developed campgrounds. There's just no cell service, and their Wi-Fi doesn't exist. So we've always been like, hey, we need something. And then the primary purpose of it was not some stupid reason just so we can have Netflix and YouTube while we're camping. It was so that if our internet here has issues, we have a backup because we're more rural and it's harder for us to get. There's not 1,000 internet providers out here. There's 2, not counting Starlink. Starlink's kind of global, but a regional one. So there's been times where something happened on the other down the road 10 miles away and you lost internet during the day.
Mm-hmm.
We can't have that. So that's kind of what
I work from home. That's very inconvenient.
I was very excited when they announced that plan because that was exactly what I was looking for. So that'll be fun. Plus all the other fun stuff we're going to do. So see, there's happy things coming.
An Oogie Boogie trip planned.
That's after that. Yeah, it's going to be Disney. October is the only thing we don't have anything going on right now.
It's our anniversary.
Yeah, but as a family, we don't have anything going on.
Well, if there wasn't a you and me, then there wouldn't be a family.
Well, I know, but you know what I mean? It's not one of those where we have to plan for everybody to go to everything.
No, but we are planning a recommitment ceremony for our 10th anniversary, our 10th wedding anniversary. We've been together more than 10 years, but we'll be married 10 years, not this coming October, but the following October.
Yes.
So that's the plan.
That'll be fun.
No, I think the kids would really enjoy it because when we got married, we are a blended family. When we got married the first time, our kids found out the night before. They were the first people to know that we were going to get married. But they didn't get to be there. They were at school. And so I just think it'd be kind of nice to, especially with everything that's gone on recently, I think it'd be nice to just have a ceremony.
Yeah. We'll plan something over the next year. Because
I'm like halfway tempted to just go to Vegas and get married at the Taco Bell chapel since we love Taco Bell so much. It's really cute, actually.
well, it's October. I don't know. When's hockey season start? We can do a whole bunch of stuff at once.
Yeah, since we lost our hockey team.
Yeah, we lost the hockey team earlier this year. That's annoying.
My husband went into a deep depression about that.
It was sad. They just within 3 weeks. No, we're fine. We'll get it. Blah 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 blah. Oh, yeah, we're gone. And then shortly after that, they're like, yeah, we're not even going to try anymore. I'm like, oh, thanks. So that was fun.
So yeah, I have a recommitment ceremony with my kids and my husband, and it'll be fun.
Oh yeah, it'd be good. We'll have fun.
What else do we have going on?
After that's anniversary, then NASCAR, then
Christmas. We do have a Christmas Disney trip.
we have that planned. That should be fun.
We like Disney.
Like it would be great if like next year we do that. You want to do a Vegas thing? If that we actually try to go down that road, and we just get it. Like that's all we need. We just need to do the recommitment and then have a hockey game, and it has to be NASCAR weekend, and then we just do all three at once.
Oh Lord.
But one big trip. Why not? There's a recommitment ceremony at the NASCAR.
No. No. Can't anything ever just be about you and me and not about whatever the heck you have decided is your obsession for that week?
Oh no, I was just trying to,
Yeah, I know what you're trying to do, and I don't like it.
efficiency.
No, not efficiency. Loyalty and commitment to one thing, dear.
Well, yeah. No, we'll do that. We'll figure something out. There's a place down the road.
What?
There's that place down the road.
No, I said we're going to go to Vegas and get married at the Taco Bell chapel.
But why?
Because we like Taco Bell.
Oh, there is that. But can't wait for that to open. We're getting a Taco Bell down the road.
We do.
No, it's still been delayed because apparently they hit the gas main when they were out there doing stuff. So it's been delayed. But the buildings there, the facades there, the paint's there, the logos and all the signage is up. The McDonald's is pretty close. They're putting stucco on it right now. So we're probably about a month away from that being somewhat looking like a McDonald's. It's exciting for us because we haven't had any. Everything was like at least 10 to 15 miles away.
Yes, when Hok first met me, he came to see me for the first time at my house. And mind you, his phone wasn't working. So I couldn't get a hold of him. And he had to find my house. And then he said that when he first came out, he was wondering if I was just going to murder him and hide his body out here somewhere because I live in the middle of nowhere. So that's how our house is set up, and we are in the middle of nowhere, and we have nothing but desert landscape, and it's nice, but it's intimidating for people.
I have a lemon tree I just planted that's not doing so well because I decided to plant it in the middle of a 115-degree week.
And he should have listened.
The lime tree is still in the pot, and it is just getting better.
Well, maybe you should have kept the lemon tree in the pot.
It didn't look good in the pot. That was the problem. It kind of looks like the Charlie Brown Christmas tree right now. It's really pathetic.
No.
I need to get some. I'm going to go get some stuff for it this week. I think I need to put some more nutrients in the ground because I did not check the soil
Right.
at all, which I should have done. So I'm going to do that. But I mean, the nice thing about living out here is we we did get the tractor, which is nice. So we get that, and we get some nice little fun things, and it's relatively quiet, so we can't really complain too much.
And the SpaceX vision line of sight is pretty phenomenal most of the time.
Yeah, it's been, I mean, they did one on Friday. It was during the day. And the other one before that we could see was going out to sea, so we just saw a little bit of it. But yeah, it's been kind of neat because when there's no clouds, it's monsoon, so later in the evening we've been getting a lot of like kind of high clouds, so you can't see anything. But off to the west, we just look out, you can see the SpaceX just coming over the city. That started, yeah, we've been doing that for a while now. It's been since March, right?
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah. We saw that one at Disneyland, and we're like, oh, that's cool. And then
yeah, and then you signed up for their reminders.
Well, no, what I did was I looked it up, and I did, I went on X, formerly known as Twitter, and we just rolls off the tongue.
I hate the name X so much.
They had to shut down in Brazil entirely because of a judge ruling. Anyways, I went on there and just did SpaceX or Falcon, whatever the thing was, the hashtag, and I was seeing all these pictures from Arizona, and so I was excited. I'm like, oh, we could see it. That's cool. And it didn't look much different than in LA, The
only reason it was really cool in LA is because we were standing in California Adventure in front of the Marvel campus, and it flew over, and it almost looked like it was part of a show they were doing. It was so strange. Yeah, you have to post that picture.
Yeah, you put the picture on it. The picture will be on the video.
But it was really neat. So if you get a chance, definitely check out those SpaceX launches because they're so much fun. And they're even fun to watch on their link to see what they're doing, see what part of the process they're at when they do their countdown and everything. It's really
that's why if I can, because sometimes it gets wonky and doesn't show it. I've had it where it didn't show the launch and it came in like way later. Like we were seeing it in the sky and then I got the feed. Yeah. But I watch it because I know about the time where I'm going to be able to see it in the sky. So we watch it take off. Oh, that's cool. Then, as like it fades off in the distance, we walk inside, I can watch the thruster land on the little platform.
Yeah.
It takes about 8 minutes for that from launch to land. It's kind of neat. So it's interesting because I never thought I'd see a rocket launch to space. Like I was like, that was always a Florida thing,
Yep.
But yeah, it's fun.
But the plan is for us to have more consistent content, more consistent episodes. We are planning. We did get our audio fixed, I believe.
Yeah, we did a couple test runs.
We got it dialed in.
Yeah, before this, and even then, there's stuff I need to do, like in editing and whatnot. So we're kind of, once we get in the flow of this, we'll probably have an episode out, at least probably 1 or 2 a week at the current rate.
And I will be releasing my episodes of Mama Wants a Word soon. I was working on that this weekend, so we will have some additional content for that, which will be moms, women, true crime, a little bit of celebrity gossip. So we'll go with that.
So like a little bit of what we touch on here, but expanded upon.
Expanded upon because Hok does not enjoy my rhetoric.
I like true crime. I just don't like.
Yeah, we won't even talk about true crime on here because he's still afraid that I'm going to be able to get away with killing him and burying his body somewhere. So
I just don't like seeing the worst in humanity constantly.
No. I get that. That was pretty. Problem is I took too many law classes to not enjoy it. So.
And I get that.
That's where we are in life, babe. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Please like, subscribe, follow, and stick with us because we are going to have more consistent content.
All right. See you guys next time.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Aw, Potato, why you gotta be so cute?